Week 8 of the After Hours Gaming League. Welcome this week to the game between Factset and Kabam Orange Fuse. We've just started picks and bans here actually in the chat, so I'm not going to show it to you because it was not very super interesting to look at, but I will type it out here so you can kind of see it going live. Now, both teams are 4-3 coming into this week, so it's going to be an exciting match. As people are trying to get into the playoffs that are being starting in just 2 weeks here. So both teams are at 4-3, and they'll be looking to get into that A bracket in the playoffs. But bans are coming fast here. So so far, Factset has banned out Shyvana and Ziggs. And Orange Fuse has banned out Lulu, Fiddlesticks as well. Now, the Fiddlesticks ban, if you've been watching here, comes pretty much every week, and that's directed entirely at the Eternal King. Just because he played, I think, over 400 games of it in Season 3, and it's already over 100 games of it now in Season 4. So that is to be no surprise, again, to anyone who's been watching so far. So, but some of the other bands are a little more, look to be a little more meta-focused. And then our final ban here coming in is Janna. I'm actually not sure about that one. That's interesting. But again, Factset banned out Ziggs and Thresh. Ziggs is still very powerful even after some of the nerfs he's gotten. So that's not a bad one to ban out. And Thresh has been played quite a little bit here recently by Ironweaver. So I think that's both a meta ban and a target ban there. Fiddlesticks, again, I said, is the Eternal King. Pretty sure Lulu is a pretty good meta ban right now, even with the nerfs to the Lich Bane that came in the recent patch. And the Janna, I'm actually not sure about. I've not been playing too much recently, but maybe they're worried about some Yasuo synergy or something else. But we've got a Renekton picked up here, first by Factset, which, it's a strong meta pick still. He does very well in all levels of play. But more specifically, Zealand has been doing very well within the top lane. A lot of his best games have been on Renekton, where he can get that early game lead and hold his lane down until Factset can take over with, in the bottom lane or from the jungle. So the first two picks coming out of Kabam Orange Fuse have been Morgana and Sivir. Again, both very strong meta picks. Nothing I've seen specifically a lot from the team on Orange Fuse in their history. But again, Morgana is great with the new Spell Thieves line changes. Her Black Pool can pick up those ticks really quickly and very safely, as well as being a great initiator late game with her Dark Binding and her ultimate. Sivir can be a really great pickup for a team comp. You can get your team running really quickly to either engage or disengage. So she's one of those utility AD carries, as well as being having really fast wave clear. So those are both really strong pickups by Orange Fuse to start here. Still waiting for a few more, but we'll see how it comes in. Alright, so the next picks from Factset are in. They are Vi and Lucian. Now both of those are ones that Factset have been playing recently. Zazmash has been playing quite a bit of Lucian. He's been switching off between Lucian and Tristana, but his Lucian has been doing very well, especially if you saw last game. He got to the point where he picked up a Mirage's Soul Stealer, or Sword of the Occult, rather, because they were getting so many kills. And then Vi has a really great initiation. I know Factset both loves to play with it and is very afraid of it. So part of it might be to let me make sure I'm spelling this right. Might be to actually take it from the other side. Now, Orange Fuse has picked up Leona and Nautilus. Now, these are both champions. They've been playing quite a bit recently, so these are very comfort champions. Nautilus was played, has been playing by back over 9,000 quite a bit in his recent games. And I believe I saw Leona somewhere, but she's also a very good meta pick. But we don't know what the support is going to be for Factset. Now I'm also noticing that with that Leona pickup, that means that's going to be a mid lane Morgana. So she's not actually going to be working with that Spell Thief's line, but she, as a mid lane carry, she can do quite a bit of damage as well. So it allowed them to kind of pick and change a little bit. Morgana is actually very difficult against Lucian because his dash can allow him to escape some of those bindings. And escape the ultimate, so that even could have been a last minute straight change in strategy, or that could have been the way it was going all the way. Alright, we're waiting for the next picks from Factset here. We still need a support and a mid laner. I'm not entirely sure where Factset's going to go with this one. They've been kind of all around the board on their mid laners. And with both Thresh, Morgana, Leona all off the table, there are not a lot of choices here. Oh, and then we have some very interesting picks going down. It is a Gragas and a Draven. So it's going to be interesting to see how they... I am not actually sure how they're going to arrange this. We've seen, we have seen a little bit of Gragas support maybe in the LCS, but this is a very odd pickup. Make sure I'm reading this right. So I mean, Lucian could go mid lane, or they could be going for a crazy kill lane. I'm not entirely. They could be going for a crazy kill lane bottom. I'm really not sure exactly what the plan is here. But it's going to be interesting to see. And so that looks like, and the last pick there is Rise, who has been coming on strong in the top lane and a little bit in the mid lane recently, especially due to the changes to the tier and how quickly it stacks. So he's been on the rise recently. But I'm really not sure exactly what Factset's going to do here. It's going to be really interesting to watch. Yeah, I'm either going with a double kill lane bottom or a Gragas support with Lucian mid. Either way, I'm not sure. I guess they didn't ban out the Draven, and so the funny thing is, Draven has been banned against Factset almost every game just because Astrum Cutie has played 300 plus games on him last season. Is that right? So he's played over 100 games with it in Season 4 alone in the last few months, and over 100 games on Draven last season as well. So he always gets banned out because he always gets banned out because you see someone with that many games and you want to get rid of it. But he's not actually the AD carry for Factset. He's playing support. So he gets banned out all the time, and it's almost a wasted ban, or so we thought. But now that he's won, he's got this double kill lane bottom. It's gonna be funny. Now again, what has happened in some of these AHGL games is if one team gets way ahead, they can snowball that. And so I don't know if Factset's hoping that they can use Draven's damage to get quite a few kills and put a lot of harass down. Now with his spinning axes, he can get a lot of damage down. Possibly more than some of the more harassy supports like an Annie, not counting her stuns. He's not going to have a lot of crowd control to help out, but he's going to have a lot of damage to do. So it looks like we're having some voice issues voice chat issues here, so we're not getting into the game just yet. But I don't even know what else to say about some of these picks. So, but anyway, Renekton up in the top lane for Zealand, I can tell is going to be very good. And Vi in the jungle has been strong on the Eternal King as well when he can't get his Fiddlesticks because it always gets banned. I don't think we've seen the Quaker Oats play Gragas yet, but even with his recent nerfs, just a little bit of reduction in the scaling on his ultimate and on his E, he's still very strong and he's very safe. But there's a very utility-oriented team over on Orange Fuse's side. Nautilus can knock out multiple members with his ultimate, and he can slow people down with just his melee attacks. Leona's got multiple stuns. Morgana's got multiple stuns. Sivir can help people either get into the fight or get away. They do have the tools here to both lock up for an engage or a disengage on this very offensive team from Factset. So if they can kind of play safe and use those abilities, then they're going to be an interesting place. All right. Looks like things are getting ready. Sorry for the delay here, guys. I wanted to do this all live, but it's getting a little slower. Now, if we take a look at, I just wanted to take a look at some of these and see if any of these have been played recently. I'm not sure who's playing which side on the Kabam Orange side team, but Bowder, their captain, has had quite a few games on Annie, so I was actually a little surprised not to see that come out. But it looks like they, the Leona is something they're more comfortable with, especially in this meta. So I expect to see Leona take the Relic Shield line, as that got a little bit of a buff recently as well. And she, as a melee champion, she can take quite a bit of advantage of it with that execute, push lane when it needs to be, and also get both her and her AD carry some extra gold, which Sivir can use as well, because Sivir actually has one of the shorter ranges in the game. She can still farm decently well with her boomerang blades and her ricochets, but sometimes she can get caught out with that short range. So hopefully Leona being able to play frontline and get her some of that extra gold will be able to help her survive this, again, what I assume is a crazy onslaught from Factset with a double 80 carry bottom lane. I'm even more upset about this voice chat issue because I don't get to see what's going to happen here. Alright, looks like we're finally going to be getting into the game here, and I can give you guys a little better view. Keep all those, I'm going to keep all the summoner spells secret in case anyone's ghosting the stream here. Although there's a little delay, so I don't think it should be too big of a deal. After we do see the picks here, it will allow us to see who's playing what on the Factset side. Now, one of the reasons they do picks in the chat before the game rather than just doing it here is that it allows the teams to basically pick their champions and for trading purposes as though they had every champion. Because right now two players might want to trade, but one of those players might not have every champion, so they wouldn't be allowed to. So by doing the picks in chat, it allows the teams to have the proper strategy and pick everything in order, and pick everything in order as though everyone had all the champions, and so they can do all the strategy that teams would be able to do without the problems. So now we notice that Zazmash, who's normally the AD carry, is playing that Lucian, and Astrum Cutie, who is the support who has so many games on Draven, is playing Draven. So we're going to have a crazy bot lane here, it looks like, and it's going to be very, very interesting. As expected, jungle Nautilus, and it's going to be good to go. But we are going to have to wait here, 3-minute delay, just so no one can see exactly what's going on for the other team. But, so I expect there to be quite a bit of, like I said, quite a bit of aggression from Factset in this bottom lane. Trying to get multiple kills very quickly and snowball the game as fast as possible. And then, as long as soon as Orange Fuse sees this coming, I expect them to essentially turtle up, allow Sivir to farm, from a long range with her boomerang blades under tower, and have Leona help him out with, locking up some stuns and not letting anyone get a huge amount of damage on him. And even though Nautilus has, much better ganks when he gets to level 6, I would expect to see him coming out of the woodwork much more quickly and helping on that bottom lane, because Eternal King has been known to try to snowball that bottom lane when they're playing a normal lane, and with this crazy kill lane, I can only imagine it will be that times quite a bit. And it'll be interesting to see the Quaker Oats in the mid lane against Morgana. So now that we are into the game, I can let you see all the summoner spells. And it actually looks like Morgana is running Teleport. That can be really great if she can get in there and start locking people down with Dark Bindings, from a bush that they can't see or from the river. So that'll be an interesting pick. It'll give her a little less, brawling in lane power, but we'll be able to see how it goes. I also noticed that support Draven here is taking Ignite over his over something else, so he's actually he's going to be looking, I assume, to help Zazamash get some kills on Lucian. Alright, I'm just excited to see this go. I don't want to wait a minute and 20 seconds, but apparently I have to. So, I don't know where to go. Both teams are 4-3, and I'm obviously, I think I said this before, but I do work for Factset, so I am going to be totally biased here, and I apologize. But I'll be like those hometown announcers who, do the Bulls games and are totally biased and pretend like they're not. So, I'll be honest with you here at least. But yeah, with how well Zazamash and Astrum Cutie have been playing, I actually expect this to go pretty well for them. I'm hoping that if they can get, I'm thinking they'll get a couple kills by the 5-minute mark and start being able to snowball that, and maybe even have Astrum Cutie roam around and help out mid. So, that's my prediction. I expect Zealanth to be able to hold his own up here. The Rise is actually a little difficult, but I expect him to at least keep even or push in a little bit, as well as... and then I'm thinking that the Gragas is going to be able to get rolling in the mid lane as well. So I'm predicting doing well for Factset, but you can never tell in the After Hours Gaming League. All right, it's exciting. We're getting into the game here. Yeah. Sorry, we had such a long delay there. I wasn't sure what was gonna. I wasn't even. I'm running out of things to say. Sorry about that. All right, so while we're here looking at the Champ Select, it gives me my favorite opportunity to do our League of Legends fashion show. We have quite a few good skins here. This is actually a tough one for me because I always like Pool Party Leona, especially her recall animation is hilarious. But we have a sweet Pack Sivir and Ghost Bride Morgana. Ghost Bride Morgana would take it if it did have more Haunted Mansion references from Disney. But since it doesn't, I just go with a Pack Sivir. It's way too Tron and way too awesome. So, I don't know. It looks like Orange Fuse is showing Factset up here in the skin department. Sorry, Factset. But it's true. Alright, let me rearrange some of these the champions down here so everyone can see the appropriate roles and whatnot in the traditionally accepted layout. All right, so we start looking at some of the early pickups. Renekton has gone with the Doran's Shield, even though it has suffered some nerfs in recent patches. It doesn't provide as much base health or as much regeneration. Rise has gone with that crystal, so he can build that right into the tier as soon as possible. Machetes for both junglers, Doran's Rings for both mid lanes, no surprise there. Leona has also gone with the Doran's Shield, despite its nerfs, but this is actually, I think, a pretty good choice in this because it still reduces that damage from auto attacks. And since they're facing 280 carries in the bottom lane, she is theoretically going to be taking quite a few auto attacks. And so that, while I personally normally like to see that Relic Shield on Leona's, this really can't be argued with too much. It's going to be a really good pickup bottom lane, especially if both those 80 carries stay bottom lane for a significant period. Now, both junglers have also gone with sweeping lenses. A lot of times you'll see them pick up the warding trinket to start, but they've gone with sweeping lenses to go, which means they're going to be wanting to gank early and often, is my guess here. Now, Factset actually has Zazimash closer to the lane. Looks like he's going to go there right away and start trying to get the push on, while Draven comes in a little later. Right, so now both junglers have started on the bottom side of the map, which actually is a little interesting. They'll both end up top. I actually would have expected either or both to start on the top side of the map so they could, have a bigger impact on that bottom lane right away. So as we should be able to see here, Factset is already using their bully strength here to push up that lane and actually zone off Orange Fuse. Now, it actually looks like Draven's taking a not insignificant amount of the CS here. He's taking a couple, but with all that damage, they're just zoning them off. So now they both hit level 2 here before either one on Orange Fuse can get anything, and then Silver goes already down half health. Now, one of the reasons Astrum Cutie is doing as many auto attacks on creeps as he is just to make sure he keeps those spinning axes going. If he wastes too much time, then they'll just expire and they'll be wasted. But he is taking a little bit of a couple of the creeps. So I'll go back to the direction camera. I just wanted to see how that plays out. So now, as we expected, Orange Fuse has let Factset push up into their tower and is trying to farm as well as they can. But you just saw when Sivir got caught out by both of them, she took half her health. Now, Zealanth is actually taking a lot of damage here up top and is being forced to recall by the Rise, who has taken barely any damage. So, he's not able to push up quite as much in that lane as a Renekton would like. But again, Orange Fuse being pushed out of the lane and bullied out. So the Eternal King comes up top to cover the lane, make sure not too many creeps get eaten up into the tower, wasted. But Rise is not backing off at all. So maybe this will be the beginning of support Draven, although I doubt it. Oh, Astrum took a little bit of damage there. And I was also going to point out that Draven went with the Doran's Blade as well to again get more of that harass down immediately. So here in the mid lane, the farm seems to be almost exactly even. And then Gragas should be pulling ahead a little bit as soon as they have that first back. If we look at the creep score in the bottom lane, Factset is using that pressure to their advantage. Oh! So what happened? Draven went in and took some turret aggro, and Leona smartly went on him immediately. Between the damage he had already taken from the turret and the silver damage, he was taken down for first blood. So that is just after 5 minutes, it looks like, which means that it's not getting reduced damage for the early First Blood. A couple patches ago, they added a reduced reward for getting First Blood super early because they didn't want it to swing the match too much. Back over 9,000 is coming in for a gank mid. He lands the hook nicely, but Quakeros just had too much health and wasn't able to take him down completely. We do finally look at that creep score in the bottom. It's a little hard to tell, but Zazamash is up by 8 on the Sivir on Bowder, but Draven has also taken a couple of CS there for himself, possibly accidentally. Mid lane's going decently, pretty even, and despite being pushed out of lane early, Zealanthon Renekton is doing well against Galador. So now with these early AD carries and Astrum Cutie on Draven going for a longsword after he died, he's still able to put some harass down on Leona, who actually got that kill with First Blood, so she's able to pick up a Sight Stone and a Purple Ward right away. Both real AD carries have picked up Vampiric Scepters on the first back, so their damage output is actually going to be pretty even right now. Although Leona gets more than a little bit of a health from that Sight Stone, so she'll actually be in a pretty good place. Zazamash going to ward up Dragon, just to make sure that they get pushed out of lane again like that. They know what's going on. And once again, the creep wave is pushed into Orange Fuse's tower. We look at the overall game here. Orange Fuse is up by 400 gold, and that's probably almost exclusively to do that kill with First Blood bonus. The creep scores are actually relatively even. Biggest discrepancy, I guess, is in the supports, because Draven's taken some for himself. But the mid laners have also gone back to get their first items. We have the Chalice of Harmony on Gragas, and a Chalice as well on Morgana. Oh, Zealand is forced back out of lane again. Those are both great because they not only provide ability power to increase their own damage, but also magic resistance, so they can protect against each other. Oop. Bowder goes not deep, but he goes in against Astrum Cutie and takes a little bit of damage in return. So Zazamash is still ahead by about 10 creeps on Bowder, and that's not even counting the extra CS that was taken by Astrum Cutie. Oh, Eternal King going in for a gank bottom, but Nautilus is there as well. Ooh, Eternal King gets caught up under the tower by Leona and killed. But Bowder is very low. They're going to try to see if they can get something out of this still. At the very least, get some of those creeps to die on the tower and maybe get a little bit of damage on it. Back over 9,000 in the jungle is also taken a little bit of damage. So the damage trade there might have been equal, but the kill went over to Orange Fuse. Oh, Astrum Key gone in on by Leona, and between the Ignite and her shield, he goes down. Oh, Morgana escapes with a sliver of life there from the gank from Nautilus, and things are starting to turn a little bit against Factset here. Down by 1,600 gold now, 4 kills to 0, but no objectives have been taken off the map, Dragon or Towers, and a lot of these fights have been very close. It will be a matter of some of these next fights and who can get some of the map control. Now, Astrum Cutie on Draven has gotten a Ruby Crystal. I'm not sure if he's going for a Sight Stone of his own on support Draven, or if he's going for something. Only thing I think he uses those two regularly. Oh, Zazamash is going in on by Leona, but with his dash he's able to get away before the stun actually procs, and Leona goes much deeper than she intended. Mid lane is again staying very even between items and gold and creeps. It's all very close. Now Nautilus has gone for his Boots of Mobility first because he is hella slow, and it'll help him actually get around the battlefield and do some damage a little faster, while Vi is on her way to her Spirit of Elder Wizard. start getting some of those conservation stacks. That could be a way that Factset can get in ahead on gold a little better. Zealand goes in, trades some damage, pop his ultimate just as Rise backs off, but it will help him regenerate some health for the next trade. Rise has picked up his tier of goddess, and he's on his way to stacking it up, not quite a third of the way there. Now, Gragas is able to start putting down a little more pain in the mid lane as we would have expected him to. We've got a big brawl going here in the bottom, and Astron Cutie is taking the brunt of the damage. But bottom might go down, but Nautilus is on his way, and Zazamash takes the ultimate, and Bottom manages to use his barrier to keep himself alive, and it's a 2-0 for Orange Fuse. In the top lane, Zealand's almost down. Eternal King goes in on Rise, but despite using the ultimate, can't quite do enough damage before he takes some of his up by himself. So with that double kill down bottom lane, Orange Fuse is able to use it to secure themselves a dragon. I'm not sure as much Factset can do here, but Gragas can get down and pop a barrel over the wall, but not enough in time. So with that dragon and those extra kills, Orange Fuse is now up by 2,800 gold. Getting no towers down, but we've got a gank in mid lane, and Quaker Oats is taking a lot of damage from that Nautilus, despite having not built any damage yet. But a lot of it's physical damage, so the Chalice is not actually going to help him in that department. So, we go back and look at some of our lanes. Draven did build the Sightstone. Zazamash wasn't quite able to build up anything else for himself. My guess is the reason for that is he's saving up for that BF sword for his Bloodthirster and didn't quite have the money yet. Whereas the Berserker's Greaves have been built on Sivir, which not only is going to help her day-to-day fighting and moving, but when that ultimate gets popped, she's going to be moving even faster. But the damage increase is actually not that high in the bottom lane, so there's still a chance for Factset to pull that back. Thene's Holy Grail has been built on Gragas, so he should be doing a little bit more damage. Hex Drinker built on Renekton, so that should help him, as well as a Negatron Cloak to save against some of that magic damage on Rise from Rise. So Rise he's built up his Catalyst, so he looks like he might be going for the Rod of Ages to go with his tier, which will take him a little while to build up full strength on that, but once he gets there, he will be doing a lot of damage. Let's take a quick look at our creep score. Renekton is pulling ahead in the top lane by almost 15 CS. Mid lane, it's another 10 CS for Factset. And bottom lane, it's even on the 80 carries, but an extra 13 on the supports. So while the kills and the dragon have gone over to Orange Fuse, pretty much every lane in CS is going to Factset at this point. I'm curious here as to whether or not what Draven is maxing. He has put 4 points into his Q, which will deal a significant amount of damage on the attack. So by the time he gets to level 5, I believe it's 75 or 80% of his attack damage. Now again, he hasn't been building many 80 items, but it's still going to allow him to do a lot more than you expect from a carry roll there without any items at the start. So, it's taking a little bit of harass. Looks like Zealand was able to dash away from... when Leona went in, Draven was able to throw his stand aside to prevent her from getting her Q off and actually getting the stun on. Similar to the way a Thresh might flay her back as soon as she comes in. So that's an interesting mechanic against Leona. Anytime she comes in, you know she's going to try to hit you with that Q immediately. And if you can push her off of it, then you can see her immediately. Now, Quaker Oats has roamed top for a gank. That ultimate knocked Galador way out. And between the two ultimates, they're both able to get out. Although Quaker Oats is very low. So a number of those creeps are going to die on that tower. Morgana's going to come up to try to absorb some of them, but we'll see how it goes. Astron Cutie gets locked up, but both junglers are here. Astron Cutie does go down, but Zazamash is dealing a little bit of damage onto Bowder. Turtle King has used up his ultimate, I believe. So that's not going to be able to help him. But they did get to manage to get that kill on Bowder. He escapes again with very little health. But they managed to only give up the one support kill. So again, 4 of those deaths are on Astrum Cutie at this point. He has picked up a Relic Shield. So he has picked up the first gold generation item, unless you count Sight Stones. So because he is a ranged character, he is not going to get the execute damage from that Relic Shield, but he will still transfer the gold over to a nearby ally when he kills a creep. And as Draven, he should be killing a lot of creeps if he wants to. He already has killed probably more than he'd like to. So that will allow him to do a little bit of that. There's a Relic Shield, not quite the Targons yet. Yeah, so he's only going to get 2 charges of it. So he's not going to get the execute damage, but Draven doesn't entirely need it, so it should work out. So if we go back to our creep score here, Renekton is up by 20 or so. Mid lane's even, and bottom lane's also pretty even. So Orange Fuse is able to even that up a little bit, but actually we see that Vi has gotten a few more kills. Now those are always jungler creep score is a little difficult to tell because you're never sure if they're doing golems or wraiths. So the score doesn't always necessarily tell us this answer. And I know Eternal King has been doing some lane farming. Oh, Astrum Cutie gets gone on again in that bottom lane and is taken down once again by Bowder. That's his 5th death. Although, honestly, most of the kills have gone on to Leona. She's going to be building tanking. Shazmash gets stunned, but Quaker Oats is roaming bottom for a gank. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to catch either of them. Oh, Nautilus is in the bottom lane here and be able to turn it around. Ultimate onto Leona, but he catches... and then Morgana's coming down from the mid lane. So, at that point, it's actually an extended 2-for-0 for Orange Fuse, leaving the score at 1-9 with about a 3,000 gold lead. Now, the fact that with their creep score advantage in many of the lanes has been able to keep that down to 3,000 despite the high kill total and now the second dragon for Orange Fuse. But it looks like Draven's sneaking around, seeing if he can grab anything. Vi can use her Q to get in there, but it looks like they slowed down their dragon kill long enough so that her Q would expire. Oh, Vi has gone in, but Orange Fuse was able to take the dragon and get the kill onto Vi. So with that second dragon and that additional kill, the gold total is at about 4,600 in favor of Orange Fuse. It's not looking great for Factset, but Zeal is able to go in on Rise. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do enough damage under that tower, and Rise manages to escape with his life there. But if he sticks around, he might be in trouble. We've got Nautilus coming up as well to help him, so he might be sort of trying to bait Zealanth into that. Not sure if we've got a ward there for him to see. Astrum Cutie is throwing some damage down onto Bowder and taking some CS for himself. It might be time to take things into his own hands after he's given up his 5 kills. Leona manages to get the slow from her ultimate, but again, the stand aside prevents her from getting her Q stun in after she goes in. Astrum Cutie is doing really well with his timing those right as he goes in. As Leona goes in. Astrum Cutie and Leona on Iron Weaver have both picked up sweeping lenses as well. They're going to try to get back some of that vision. So at that point, if Factset's down this much, even though they aren't down any turrets yet, and are still pushing this bottom lane, one way to get back in is to try to regain some vision control. And maybe catch a couple picks, get some of that shutdown gold, especially if they can take out Leona. She's actually got 5. Leona and Nautilus have 9 of the 10 kills for Orpheus, so they get some of that, they can get some of the shutdown gold, and potentially get back into the game a little more easily. Oops, sorry about the camera there, folks. So, things seem to have settled down a little bit after all those kills. And, again, lanes are back to farming. This is turning out to be an extended game, 20 minutes now, and no towers have gone down. Nautilus coming in for a gank, lands the ultimate, but didn't actually allow for that much damage to go down. Double 80 carries or tried to throw some damage out there, but now that he's got his Spirit of the Ancient Golem up, he has a little more tanky. Let's take a look on Rise's build up here. So he has 2/3 of his stacks on his tier by now, and looks like he just finished his Route of Ages. So he hasn't got any of his bonus stacks yet. So in about 30 minutes time, he's going to be in a place where he can put down some of the pain. So the 80 carries, we do see a discrepancy here. Zazamash has his Bloodthirster and Tier 1 boots, but Sivir on Bowder also has his Bloodthirster, Tier 2 boots, and his Zeal. So he is in a position where he can get a little more output. Galador went in on Zealand, but Zealand's able to heal up with his Q and his ultimate, and they kind of just go back to trading now. Zealand has built up that Sector's Cowl, hopefully to protect him against some of that Rise damage. We do see our Vamp Scepter on Draven in the bottom lane. He hasn't quite upgraded that Relic Shield yet. He's still got 2 charges. Oh, the Eternal King dives in on Galador between the turrets, but he wasn't quite able to get him. Bowder is taking a lot of damage from Zazamash here, but Zazamash smartly decides not to follow up. There's actually a fight going on between the turrets. 3 of Factset's members have roamed up top here to try to get some damage down. Looks like they're all going to get out with their lives. And then Rise has gone back already to heal, otherwise it would have been a 3-on-3. His top tower has taken a lot of damage, and Zealand is going to try to see how much he can put down before the minions run out. Now, Iron Weaver managed to get his stuns on there and actually gets a kill on Dilution, and looks like Astrum Cutie might not be too far behind. He flashes out. Still got that 1 spinning axe there. But trying to avoid Leona's Q and can't quite do it, and Bowder gets another kill. 3-man hit squad up here on Factset that's trying to retreat. But Rise managed to stun up Quaker Oats. Now putting the kill count at 13-1 in favor of Orange Fuse. The gold disparity here now is at about 5,000 gold. Again, not actually growing as much fast as you would expect. I think part of that is based on the fact that here at 22 minutes we just had the first turret go down. That's where a lot of that global gold will come in. So with the tower, we're at closer to 6,000 gold. And while that's bad for Factset, especially with the dragon coming up here in a minute, it will allow them to farm a little more safely. Galador taking some damage on the top lane turret, but Zealand is going in fearlessly because he actually is ahead of Rise a little bit there. 1 kill to 1 assist and 20 creep score lead. Although Galador does have the gold from the 2 dragons and that 1 tower, so. Yeah, it looks like the kill lane did not work out super well for Factset. Gank from Eternal King, ultimate down on Rise. Galador is taking very low. We'll see if they can finish him off. Astrum Cutie's coming to help out, but I don't think he wants to take the kill if he can help it. But he can't help it. So, yeah, it looks like the kill lane, I think it just didn't get off to a hot enough start. Orange Fuse did what you should do against a lane like that, and don't engage as much as you need to. Or as much as you could. All the stuns coming down to Zazamash. He got hit by a binding into Leona ultimate, and he was just stunned long enough that there was nothing he could do. The dragon is up. Looks like Orange Fuse is congregating, and they should be able to burn it down pretty quickly here, especially with Zazamash out. But with Rise coming down to help, looks like Zealand should be able to take that top tower. Quaker Oats and Astrum Cutie don't look like they have enough to take the middle tower, and Astrum Cutie goes down again to Iron Weaver. So our kill leader in the game so far is Leona with 6 kills. It's just been sort of a happy accident for her, I think. So now we have 2 of the outer turrets down for Factset and 1 down for Orange Fuse. So, see again, despite the large kill lead and now the about 7,000 gold lead, the turret differential is not that bad. Iron Weaver might not actually want to land as in played, but with Morgana Shield, looks okay. Oh, Zealand's gone in. Ooh, Quick Heroes takes Leona ultimate. But Vi is able to dive on the Morgana backline. It's actually looking to be not a terrible fight for Factset so far. Though there's a lot of CC on the side of Orange Fuse. A couple kills for Factset. That's 3-1 so far, but Vi is pretty low. So despite being down 7,000 gold at that point, Factset managed to take that fight and turn it into a 3-for-1. Oh, Eternal King looks like he's trying to go in another knock-up on Rise, but didn't quite manage it. So there is a couple of flashing health bars there on the side of Factset, but they did manage to turn that around, cut into the gold lead just a little bit, actually cut in about 2,000 there. They got a big shutdown kill onto Leona, which is very helpful, as well as Morgana. So between those two, they're able to actually take back a good portion of gold. That's why those 2 kills netted them so much. Morgana's going to teleport mid here just to start to save the tower. And it looks like everyone will go back to sort of the standoff. It's an interesting game so far. Factset's doing well to hold their own here, despite the massive gold deficit. So if we look at, I'm actually going to look at the gold itself. So Zealand up top is actually ahead by about 700 or 800 gold total. In the jungle, due to the Eternal King getting his gold generation item much more quickly than back over 9,000 on Nautilus, they are also about equal. In the mid lane, the farming has been roughly equal, and the kill's actually been pretty close with that triple kill going on to Gragas. Their gold is also about equal. So the big difference is actually in the bottom lane here, with an over 2,000 gold lead on Leona over Draven, and a over 3,000 gold lead on Bowder over Zazimash, and that's almost entirely due to kills and assists there. So if Factset can take that bottom lane out of the fight, either take out or ignore Leona and get some damage or push out of the fight on Sivir, they're actually on about equal footing. Although Factset's problem is that their only tank here is Renekton, as opposed to the 2.5 tanks of Leona, Nautilus, and Rise on the side of Orange Fuse. But that does leave them with fewer damage dealers. Leona goes in deep, gets a stun onto Renekton, but she's going very, very deep on this team. Ultimate from Nautilus has managed to take out Gragas. Again, one of the biggest damage dealers on Factset at this time. Renekton goes down as well, but Factset answers with a kill on Morgana. Eternal King is very, very low. Back over 9,000 is trying to go in on it, but our 280 carries are trying to defend this tower. So it ended up being a 3-for-2 with Sivir being brought very low. So as well as the Eternal King being brought very low. So not nearly as bad a fight as it could have been for Factset. And they actually might have gotten a shutdown bonus from Gragas there since he had that crazy triple kill in the previous fight. Eternal King, having healed up and picked up Home Guard boost to get back in the fight, manages to run in. Zazimash pulls out his barrier, but it's not enough to save him from Iron Weaver and the bloodthirsty Leona. Another couple kills come down, making it not quite as even. Orange Fuse is able to take down that mid turret, and they're going to pull back now with low health on Leona and Sivir. Nautilus also picking up some Home Guard enchantments, not to be outdone. And let's take a look over at Rise. His tier is fully stacked now, so as soon as he wants to go into that Seraph's Embrace, it will instantly transform. His Rod of Ages is almost charged up. We said it would be about 30 minutes. That is a big black shield on Nautilus. If she casts that on some of the characters with the bigger images, it's really funny, actually. So, look at the total gold. A couple more towers going down for Team Orange Fuse. I keep wanting to say Team Orange Crush, but that is not what their team name is. The gold is back up to about 8,000 here. So it was briefly down to 5,000 from around 7, but they're able to pull it back. Take a little bit of a look at the itemization. Zazimash has actually gone straight for his last Whisper, on Lucian, and that's most likely due to the fact that there's so much armor on the side of Orange Fuse between Leona, Nautilus, and Rise. It's going to be very helpful to be able to clear through that. That matches the target of just about everything and gets blown up instantly. Quaker Oats gets stun locked as well, and he goes down before he can answer. So again, the two biggest damage dealers on Factset go down. So that's not going to bode well here for them defending this turret, unfortunately. They're down in gold, and I'm not sure if it's possible, but Zealand gets caught up by Leona, even though they're under the tower. The tower's not going to do enough damage here to help them out. Eternal King also takes a ton of damage, and Zealand goes down as well. SMQ trying to do what he can, but he, even with that Bloodthirster, doesn't have quite enough damage. Bauer taking a lot of turret shots, getting close to dead there. And our support Draven gets dove by Leona and Nautilus, and goes down as he actually survives, but Eternal King takes the bullet for him. So, alright, that was quite the crazy fight. The tower actually did not go down, I believe. The tower did go down, but the inhibitor lives. Orange Fuse here pulling back to pick up the dragon. Increase that gold lead, not give Factset any kind of chance to come back here. Now Factset they have 4 turrets down now, but that middle lane is crushing. It'd be nice if they take this opportunity to lay out some wards. They have a couple wards on their jungler and their mid laner, as well as the Sightstone on support Draven. So if they can lay out some wards here, I hope they can pick up a little bit of control. I didn't know Draven's access bounced off wards. That's funny. So Draven has actually picked up the upgrade, the Oracle's Lens, so he can spot out a few more. He gets that Oracle, like it's the equivalent of the old Oracle's potion, for a little while after he uses his lens. That'll be nice for him. So if we look at our gold lead now, total is up to around 11,000. So it just keeps growing for Orange Fuse. Factset lays out some wards, but I don't think they actually want this this Baron fight. Now, if they can catch Orange Fuse in the Baron pit after taking all that magic resistance debuff, the Quaker Oats on Gragas with his Rabadon's Death Cap could deal a lot of damage to the group and possibly give them a chance to pull back some of these kills. But Factset is just significantly down out, especially in that bottom lane. But Draven has picked up his Bloodthirster. We have a Brutalizer on Lucian, actually. Now, I don't know if he's going to have the time to build that up into a Black Cleaver, but I actually kind of like Black Cleaver on Lucian because his passive gives him those extra attacks, and each one will apply an effect of the Black Cleaver armor debuff. And again, against all the armor he's facing, having that Brutalizer is going to help him out a lot. Iron Weaver dives in, but that Sivir is managing to hide behind the rest of her 3 tanks to stay alive there. Morgana takes a lot of damage, and is taken down eventually by Zazimash. So it's a 1-for-2 here. Factset has also lost their inhibitor. Zazimash forced to flash out there. But the one loss from Orange Fuse was one of their 2 damage dealers. So they are forced to pull back a little bit and can't quite dive the Nexus turrets just yet. I'm not sure that this inner turret is going to be salvageable for Factset. Probably the best bet just to back away, make their fight at the inhibitor turret here where it's a little hard to get in. They should have a good amount of wave clear with that Gragas, but one of those barrels was off by a little bit. Now Orange Fuse running through, picking off some of the jungle, not really leaving anything for Factset to survive off of, and they're going to probably regroup in that top lane, get all of the lanes pushing, especially since the Factset wave is actually pushing against that inner turret in the top lane. It's been left unattended for so long. But back over 9,000. It's going to take away that blue buff, so no one on Factset can have it. Gragas really likes to have that just for both for the mana regeneration and the cooldown reduction. Alright, so Eternal King is able to finally get a couple of kills here. Now, actually taking out those camps is even more important, again, with the new jungle items, because the jungler needs to take something out to take those big troops out to get his extra gold. Factset is going for a Desperation Baron here, it looks like. But Orange Fuse has seen it. But the whole team is not yet there. They are collapsing here. Oh, Astron QD just gets melted with that Magic Needles debuff. Eternal King goes down next. Quaker Oats probably is not far behind, although he is able to get a lot of damage onto Morgana. That Black Shield is just too strong. It's a 4 for nothing at that point. I guess Morgana's just using her Zanyas for style. Now with the mid inhibitor down and the 40+ second death timers, I think this might be it for Factset. I think Orange Fuse should be able to take down both Nexus turrets before the rest of Factset gets out. I don't know if Zazamash can take on 1v5, although we have at least one viewer who can. And looks like that's going to be a good game in the Nexus turrets. It's going to pull Orange Fuse up to 5-3 and drop Factset to 4-4. Roughly, it looks like roughly the top half of the teams from each league are going to go into the playoffs. So Factset still has a chance, depending on what goes on, possibly even if they lose their next game. But they're definitely going to want to... Again, definitely winning that game is going to put them in a much better spot to get into the A bracket of the playoffs. But again, Factset did what they could. They went all in with that kill lane bottom, counting on Astron QD's expertise on Draven to push it in. But Orange Fuse was able to... Orange Fuse was able to counter it by turtling up and getting some jungle help. So I guess that's why they say you have a support with CC in the bottom lane, right? If everyone does what they're supposed to, I guess that's how it's going to work out. But a good game to both teams. I will be back next week. Normally we record on Sundays, but this time we had to do it on Thursday because of some scheduling conflicts. But a week from Sunday, that should be the 6th, April 6th. We should have the last game of the regular season before we go on to the playoffs. And Factset will be in one of the playoffs. But I'll be there to cast it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.